Viktoria Plzen 1, Manchester United 2, and Man United pick up a valuable 3 points in the Europa League. And I'll be honest, the first half was pretty dead. Neither team created too much really, and both teams went into half-time 0-0. But let's just talk about the starting lineup first of all. I was pretty happy with the team, to be honest. It was pretty similar to the starting lineup that I would have gone for. So Ruben Amorim did start. Of course, he started with Onana and net with a back three of Mazraoui, De Ligt and Martinez. So the same back three as me. And then he went for Dalot, Bruno, Casemiro and Malacia as the midfield four. But I would have gone with Anthony, Casemiro, Ugarte and Malacia. And then with a front three of Amorim started with a front three of Ahmad, Rashford and Xerxes, and my front three was Ahmad, Bruno and Xerxes. So the only differences were that I had Anthony and Ugarte starting ahead of Rashford and Dalot, but Anthony and Ugarte did come on in the second half. And Anthony especially had a decent game coming off the bench. So in terms of Manchester United starting off the game, I thought we started quite well. We did dominate the ball for large periods of the game in the first half. And in the second half, I think we finished with like over 70% possession. But Man United get a good chance in the 4th minute. It's a brilliant play by Xerxes. He goes on a really good run, but his shot is blocked. In the 22nd minute, Manchester United break on the counter, and Ahmad plays the wrong pass, unfortunately. I think he should have played in Bruno at that time, and then who could have had a shot. Rashford receives the ball, but he blasts it over, unfortunately. But in terms of Rashford there, I think he did have time to take, he didn't have to hit it first time. He could have taken a touch, but I think Ahmad did play the wrong ball. And in terms of Ahmad, I think in the first half, he was a little bit out of the game. I don't think he had a particularly good first half, and but in the second half he definitely did improve, and we are seeing, this is the first game we're seeing Ahmad in that right inside 10 position, and I think in the second half he definitely did do better. But in the 23rd minute though, Ahmad does have a left footed shot that is saved. He runs towards the goal from the right side and it's deflected. It loops towards the goal, but the keeper claims it easily, and it's a positive direct run from the Ivorian, but it lacked the end product. Xerxes then misses with a header from a Manchester United free kick, and then Bruno Fernandes probably has the best chance of the first half when he has a shot and the keeper has to make a save. So this is in the 31st minute. He runs through on the right side. Fernandes, he drives into space before unleashing a good effort which Jadleka has to parry out with his right hand, and it was well struck by the United captain as well. And then unfortunately Rashford does pick up a yellow card at the end of the first half. But in terms of half time, we kind of didn't really create too much. I think Plzen, out of possession, they had a 5-3-2 formation, and they made it really difficult for Manchester United to break them down, and they were well drilled and organised. And sometimes when the Ahmad or who else was playing in the 10, Ahmad or Rashford were kind of getting into little pockets in them inside 10 positions, what you would see is one of the Plzen centre-backs just come out with the back five and just put pressure on them, and then they didn't really have time to turn or anything on the ball. So I think in the first half, Rashford and Ahmad were particularly quiet, and I think Plzen did really well in shutting down that space that you would normally get in that inside 10 position on the left hand side and the right hand side. But in terms of Xerxes though, I think Xerxes' hold up play was really good. Overall though, we didn't pose many threats going forward, and the last team to beat Plzen were Barcelona 2 years ago. So in terms of some halftime stats, let's just take a look at some halftime stats. So this is the lineup that Ruben Amorim did go for in starting. So you've got Dalot and Malacia there playing as wing backs, and then I would have had Anthony, and let's just have a look at my lineup here. So let me just pull up my lineup. So that's my lineup right there. So I would have had Anthony and Malacia as wing backs. Then I would have had Casemiro and Ugarte as the double pivot. Then Bruno, Ahmad and Xerxes as the front three. But Ruben Amorim did decide to deploy Bruno Fernandes in a double pivot with Casemiro, and I think he was alright. He wasn't kind of I think I've been reasonably impressed with Bruno Fernandes' performances and playing that double pivot role. I don't think he's been awful. I think he can play that role as well. So in terms of some halftime stats, let's just have a look at them. So you can see there Manchester United have 3 shots, 2 on target. So it's not great in terms of how much possession we have. 72% possession. 86% pass accuracy, and I think we need to be doing a lot better with how much ball possession that we have. So let me just put my mic a little bit closer. So I think we need to be doing a little bit better with the amount of the amount of ball possession that we have. So Plzen there with 28% possession, not great. They didn't really offer too much going forward, only one shot on target. But in terms of total touches inside the box, Manchester United did have 12 and Plzen had 12 as well. So in terms of overall summary for the first half, I think it was a poor first half going forward. There were few chances for either side, with both defenses kind of cancelling each other out and leaving little space for any attackers to exploit. And Fernandes did have a long range effort on goal, but apart from that, Manchester United virtually created nothing, and their XG was marginally better than their opponents, with a 0.2 generated XG for Manchester United in comparison to Plzen, who had a 0.16 XG. So yeah, in terms of the second half though, we did get off to a poor start, unfortunately. So in the second half, Plzen do take the lead in the 48th minute, and it's a disaster goal for Onana. He passes it to De Ligt, and it's a horrendous one. He shouldn't be passing it to there, and it's easily intercepted by Sulk, who cuts it back for Vydra to apply the finishing touch from yards out, and it's 1-0 Plzen. And Manchester United then do make a sub. Rashford is off for Hojlund, and in the 59th minute, Plzen give it away, and Hojlund is through on goal, but he slows down the ball and he allows the Plzen number 40 defender to get back and kind of make it difficult for him to have a shot, and the shot is eventually saved. I think Hojlund needs to be doing a little bit better there in that 1v1. Xerxes and Malacia do go off for Mount and Antony, and I have to say that Mount, he was getting into some chances. He had two really good chances to actually score, and he missed, unfortunately, both of them. But Manchester United do grab a goal in the 62nd minute. Antony, who does really well, playing a pass to Ahmad. Ahmad, the Wakandan king, he nutmegs the defender. He shoots, but the shot is saved with his left foot. And then the rebound comes to Hojlund, who puts it away to make it 1-1. And it was a really good goal, really good build-up play down that right side. And you can automatically see that Antony is offering a lot more than Dalot was down that right side. And it's nice to see that link-up play between Antony and Ahmad, and we're finally seeing Ahmad kind of play in that number 10 position and doing really well, in my opinion. Bruno does have a shot. He flashes the ball right across the box in the 71st minute, and Hojlund just needs to touch it, but he can't. Hojlund gets any touch on the ball, and it's 2-1 with that chance as well. Plzen do go down the other end. Prince, who does good work down the wing, crosses it to Vydra, but he shoots wide. And then Mount has a brilliant chance to make it 2-1 in the 76th minute. Manchester United break with Ahmad. He plays it to Mount, and his shot is saved. He should have scored, in my opinion. He has to score. Mount has to score. There's no excuse. He has to be scoring that. He has to be scoring that chance. And in the 80th minute, we see Ruben Amorim, the final roll of the dice. He decides to bring off Dalot and Casemiro, and he brings on Ugarte and Garnacho. And then we see Garnacho and Antony as wing backs, which we've not seen before. Very attacking by Ruben Amorim. But we were away at home, so and we're playing against a decent Plzen side, but he still decides to go all out attacking in terms of playing Garnacho and Antony as wing backs. And then we do get a chance in the 85th minute, and it's Mount again. He has a good pass from Fernandes. A good pass from Fernandes finds Hojlund, who threads a neat pass to Mount, but his shot is kept out by Jadleka, the keeper, and then it's cleared away. And Mount has to be scoring that. That's two chances which Mount has had, clear-cut chances, and both shots on target, both shots were saved, and Mount, he has to be doing a lot better, in my opinion. He needs to be getting on the score sheet there. But thankfully, Manchester United do grab the winner in the 88th minute. A free kick for handball is given to Manchester United, and Fernandes plays it across the penalty area to Hojlund. His first touch gets it away from Sojka, and then he strikes a brilliant shot past Jadleka to make it 2-1 to Manchester United. And it's a great ball from Bruno. It's very good quick thinking by Bruno Fernandes, and it's great strength shown by Rasmus Hojlund to kind of to beat off his defender, and then a good turn by him as well, and then he turns, and it's a brilliant strike to make it 2-1. And Manchester United finally, in the dying moments of the game, we have two counter-attacking opportunities. One in the 91st minute, Manchester United on a 3-on-1, and we completely mess it up. It's Garnacho, Ahmad and Antony on the break. We go forward in numbers, but it leads to an Antony shot, and it's a one-handed save by the keeper, and we need to be putting that ball away to make it 3-1 and then finishing off the game. And then in the 94th minute as well, Manchester United get another chance on the break, and we're failing to kind of kill Plzen off with these counter-attacks and losing the ball at vital moments as well. I think it's Hojlund who loses it, and unfortunately, we aren't able to capitalise on counter-attacking opportunities late on in the game. But thankfully, we do come away with all 3 points. It's a very important 3 points in the Europa League as well, because especially so we're away from home, and especially at the start of the season we did draw 3 games in a row in the Europa League, and all games which we should have won, because we were leading. But yeah, in terms of man of the match, I think it's a little bit difficult one. It might be Bruno Fernandes or Ahmad, but I'll tell you that in a minute after we have a look at the ratings. But in terms of Antony, when he came on, we looked way more threatening down the right side. Dalot wasn't offering much, and when Antony came on, Ahmad kind of broke free and he was able to play more freely, and he could link up with Antony really well as well. And Dalot, in my opinion, was a problem in the first half. I think he didn't offer too much going forward, and I think in terms of Amorim, it's a really good statement of intent to play 2 wingers at wing back and Bruno in the double pivot, and Ruben Amorim did go for it, and it paid dividends in the end, as Manchester United come away with all 3 points. So in terms of some insights for the match, Ruben Amorim tonight, he became only the 3rd manager to win both of his first 2 matches in major European competition in charge of the club, after Matt Busby and Alex Ferguson. Rasmus Hojlund has been involved in 50% of Manchester United's goals in the UEFA Europa League this season, 6 out of 12, with the Danish scoring 4 or assisting 1 each of United's last 5 goals in the competition. And tonight's defeat put an end to Plzen's 12-match unbeaten run in the European competition, including qualifiers, with Manchester United the first side to beat the Czech club on home soil since Barcelona in November 2022. So these are your insights for the match. So let's just take a quick look at the player ratings. I think Onana, he was a little bit poor, to be honest. 1 error leading to a goal again. He had an error leading to a goal against Nottingham Forest, and unfortunately he had another error leading to a goal, so he wasn't great. I think his passing wasn't great either. 74% pass accuracy, passing accurate passes, and 5 out of 12 accurate long balls. Not great in my opinion. I think 6.1 rating is a little bit high for him personally. It's probably like a 5 or something. But yeah, Onana, not his best game. Mazraoui, I thought again he was decent. Like, he's a 7 or 8 out of 10 every game, and he is having a really good season. He's a really good player in my opinion. I think we're really lucky to have him just for like 12 million or whatever. Accurate passes 68 out of 79, 89%. Pass accuracy and 91 touches. Again, he's getting a lot of touches in the ball on the ball as well. Tackles 1, he won all of his tackles. Accurate long balls only 1 out of 5, so that's not great. In terms of duels, 5 duels won, 6 duels lost. So I think he needs to be doing a little bit better with his duels, and we need to be winning more duels, I think. De Ligt, 86% pass accuracy, 70 out of 81% accurate passes. I think he needs to be doing a little bit better with regards to passing through the lines. I think he's a little bit side to side with him still. If he can get more confidence in kind of passing through the lines, and because what happens is what I'm seeing is a lot of the time is that the opposition, they're allowing De Ligt to have a lot of time on the ball, and they're kind of just the only passing options that De Ligt has are the right centre-back and the left centre-back, and your central centre-back needs to be a really good progressor of the ball and a really good passer, and I don't think De Ligt is just that yet. I think he could improve, but in terms of his passing accuracy and his passes in the final third, I think they need to be a little bit better and higher, and I think Harry Maguire could be a little bit of a better player playing that centre-back position. But yeah, in terms of his duels, he did win the majority of his duels, which is good to see. He won, duels won 6, duels lost 2, so he won 6 out of 8 of his duels, which is good. Lisandro Martinez, I thought he had a good game as well. 88 out of 100 passes, 88% pass accuracy, 112 touches as well. Accurate long balls, 4 out of 9. He could be maybe doing a little bit better with his long balls, but his passes into final third were decent. He was passing it. He was making a quite good progressive passes into the final third with 8. Probably I think our most progressive passer out of the centre backs. In terms of duels as well, he's won 8 and lost 1. So he won 8 out of 9 of his duels, which is really good as well. So Dalot, I think in the first half he was poor. I think he was lucky to last 81 minutes as well. Personally, I would have taken him off quite earlier, maybe at like 55, 60 minutes. So in terms of his passes, he got 32 out of 41, 78% pass accuracy. So you could be doing a little bit better there. Touches, 59 touches in the opposition box too. But I think him going forward, he isn't great going forward. I think we need to play Anthony a little bit more. I'm not sure, but yeah, in terms of him going forward, he wasn't great. Duels, he didn't win the majority of his duels either. He's won 2 out of 5 duels there he's been involved in, so that's not great in my opinion. But yeah, Casemiro, I think he was decent. I think he had a decent game. He was playing the ball really nicely. 90% accurate passes, 56 out of 62 passes, accurate passes complete. Then you've got touches 82 as well, successful dribbles, passes into final third. He's got 5 successful dribbles. He's got 1, so he's doing decent there. In terms of his tackles, he's won 4 out of 7 of his tackles, which is good as well. Duels, he's won the majority of his duels as well, which is nice to see that you've got a central midfielder there that can win the majority of his duels as well. And personally, if we can see that Casemiro Ugarte pivot against Manchester City, I think we might have a chance of getting something out of the game. I'm not completely confident for that one, but it's nice to see that Casemiro, central midfielder there, he's winning the majority of his duels. I think we missed that against Arsenal, and personally I think I would have played that Casemiro Ugarte double pivot against Arsenal, unlike the Ugarte Bruno pivot that we saw against Arsenal that Ruben Amorim did deploy. So 11 out of 14 duels won overall, so nice to see Casemiro doing well in midfield. Bruno Fernandes again, very surprised to see that he can play this position of the double pivot really well. He's got a 9-point rating on FootMob, man of the match rating on FootMob. Chances created 7, so he's playing in that double pivot, but he's still creating a lot of chances. You can see his accurate passes there, 75%. Not necessarily the greatest, but of course you're not going to get that from a Bruno Fernandes, because he's going to be playing that risky pass to try create more chances as well. So 7 chances created, which is pretty good. He had that shot in the 31st minute, which was saved, and then that other shot which was blocked as well. In terms of his accurate crosses, this is good, 4 out of 5 as well. In terms of his duels as well, I think we can seeing the lack. He's won 50% of his duels here, so he's won 8 out of 16. So we can see that as a defensive midfielder, it can be a little bit lacking in terms of him playing there, because he's not winning the majority of his duels, unlike someone like a Ugarte or a Casemiro would. So in that double pivot, they're going to be getting stuck in a lot of duels and they're going to be winning them. You can see Bruno Fernandes is involved in 16 duels and he's won 8 of them. I don't think that's great, but yeah. So we did see that against Arsenal as well. He didn't win the majority of his duels against Arsenal either. Malacia, I thought he was okay. I think he could have been done a little bit better going forward. We definitely did see a little bit of better quality from Garnacho, in my opinion, at that wing-back position. But Garnacho wasn't on for too long. Malacia was neat and tidy, not necessarily neat and tidy on the ball, but 74% accurate passes. I think he needs to be doing a little bit better. In terms of his attacking output, it wasn't that great in my opinion. I think he down that left side with Rashford, it wasn't really working in the first half, so that was a little bit disappointing to see. But he did win 100% of his duels, which is good. So yeah, in terms of Ahmad, Ahmad definitely improved second half when Anthony came on. I think he's unlucky to not come away with maybe a goal or an assist. I think he probably did deserve one. You can see he's got 2 shots here. This left one in the left-footed shot here, it's saved in the 23rd minute. Then this one is blocked in the 62nd minute. But I think he probably should have gained an assist. One big chance missed. He missed one big chance. Touches in the opposition box 5. Successful dribbles only 1 out of 5. So usually he does have more successful dribbles, but he did play a part in the first goal that Rasmus Hojlund scored. Amad Diallo, Anthony were involved in creating that chance. I think Amad Diallo nutmegs the defender, and then he has a shot which is saved. Let's have a look at his duels. Yeah, he won 5 out of 11 of his duels, which isn't great. I think he needs to be doing a little bit better, but he did play a hand in that goal that Rasmus Hojlund scored in the 62nd minute here. When we see this shot here that was blocked, it comes out to Rasmus Hojlund, the rebound, and then Hojlund then puts it away. Rashford, I thought he didn't really offer too much. Again, Rashford and Malacia down this left side, in my opinion, weren't great. And he was taken off in the 56th minute. He did pick up a booking as well in the first half for shoving a defender in the back. But in terms of dribbles, obviously he's 100% successful dribbles, touches 40, touches in the opposition box 3. I'm expecting him to get a little bit more touches in the opposition box. I don't think he's necessarily suited to be playing this left inside 10 position role. He wasn't really doing too much for me. He's won 3 out of 5 of his duels as well, so not great. I think he needs to be doing a little bit better, a little bit more going forward, and remains to be seen how Rashford is going to fit into the system. I don't think he's necessarily playing quite well at the moment, even though obviously like a week or two ago he did score 2 against Everton, but this game I don't think he was particularly good. 0 shots from your forward as well. He's not provided anything. He's not created anything. 0 chances there. Marcus Rashford. Then if you look at Bruno Fernandes, chances created 7 chances created from a midfield double pivot, playing as like a central midfielder or a defensive midfielder. And Rashford here, he's playing in the front 3 and he's 0 chances created. It's just not good enough in my opinion. But yeah, Xerxes, I think in the first half his hold up play was pretty decent, but he wasn't really getting into goal scoring opportunities in my opinion, and maybe he wasn't really the ball wasn't really played into him that much. But he only had that one shot in the 27th minute. That was a header off target from a set piece. 2 chances created. Going forward, I'm expecting more from him, to be honest. Touches in the opposition box 6. Successful dribbles 3 out of 5. Duels 5 duels won, 8 duels lost. I think he needs to be winning more duels as well, even though his like I said, his link-up play and his hold-up play was pretty decent in the first half. I think, obviously, he's not won enough duels, so he needs to be winning more duels. So, yeah, in terms of the substitutes, they did pretty well. I'm not going to lie, especially, they were all involved, basically, in big chances. Of course, Hojlund grabs the 2 goals, so he's gonna be highly rated here. So Hojlund with the 4 shots, he's got 2 goals there. Accurate passes, only 5 out of 7, but he's there to tap home the chances which he got in the 62nd minute. Really good. Well, not really good, but it was basically a tap in, but he's tapping there to Ahmad's rebound from the shot. And then in the 88th minute, it's a set piece goal from that Bruno free kick. So that was decent as well. 1 chance created. He was involved in the play as well. A couple of opportunities on the counter attack near the end of the game. 21 touches. 1 big chance missed as well. He could have probably scored that big chance. 9 touches in the opposition box. So he's getting about the place. He's got more touches in the box than Rashford and Xerxes. And he's only on the pitch for half an hour, so that's pretty good. In terms of his duels, he's won 2 out of 6 of his duels, but he scored 2 goals. So as long as your strikers are putting in the ball into the back of the net, I suppose maybe winning your duels doesn't really matter that much. But obviously we want our strikers to be scoring goals, and as long as they're scoring goals and we're winning games, then maybe you lose your duels or whatever. But yeah, Rasmus Hojlund's got 8.6 there. Mason Mount, He's got 2 shots here, and he should be scoring both of them, to be honest with you. He's got this one in the 77th minute. It's a shot on target. It's a fast break situation, and it's a save. And it's the same again. It's another fast break, and it's a save in the 86th minute as well. Mason Mount needs to be putting these 2 chances away, and I wasn't really impressed by him missing them 2 chances. Even though, of course, he is getting into the opportunity, into the relevant goal-scoring opportunity positions, but he's not putting the ball away. I think someone like a Rashford in these positions probably scores. I think someone like a Xerxes in this position probably scores. But yeah, Mason Mount, 10 out of 13 accurate passes. Big chances missed, so they did both count as 2 big chances, and he missed both of them, unfortunately for him. In terms of his duels, he lost both of them. He was only involved in 2. But yeah, Mason Mount, he needs to be scoring them 2 chances and putting them chances away. Anthony, I was pretty impressed by him when he came on, I'm not going to lie. And I have been pretty critical of Anthony, but I was particularly impressed by him when he came on. He's pretty involved, playing at that right wing back position, linking up with Ahmad really well, and played a part in the first goal that Manchester United scored, and he was decent as well. 18 out of 20 accurate passes, 90% pass accuracy, 2 chances created as well from that wing back position, 3 touches in the opposition box, and duels. He won 1 out of 3 of his duels as well. Which obviously maybe he needs to be doing a little bit better, but I think Anthony did have a decent game when he came on. Ugarte was only on the pitch for 10 minutes, so he didn't really have an impact. Maybe he needs to be doing a little bit better with his pass accuracy. Duels won, he did win all of his duels, which is nice to see. He was getting about the place and kind of shutting down any opportunities that Plzen would have on the counter, or just getting about the place. Garnacho, he wasn't really on the pitch too much to offer anything meaningful. Only on the pitch for 9 minutes. Touches 9, 1 touch in the opposition box. He did have a cross which wasn't accurate, unfortunately. He wasn't involved in any duels, and yeah, not much can be said. He was only on the pitch for 9 minutes as well. So yeah, in terms of overall, in terms of my man of the match, I feel like giving it Hojlund because he's got 2 goals, but Bruno Fernandes has got a 9.0 rating here. And Bruno Fernandes did create 7 chances. You know what? I think I'm going to have to give it Rasmus Hojlund as the man of the match, because he came off the bench and he scored 2 goals. He scored 2 goals from 4 shots, and he had 1 chance created as well. So I think I'm going to have to give man of the match to Rasmus Hojlund. He's got 9 touches in the opposition box as well, something that you really want to see from your forward. So Rasmus Hojlund is man of the match for me, and then Bruno Fernandes is a close second as well. So where does that leave Manchester United in terms of the Europa League? Let's just have a look at the league table. Manchester United are up to we did go up to 5th. But I think there's other games going on right now. Anderlecht are winning 1-0, so that's why Manchester United have dropped to 6th. But yes, we did go up to 5th straight after the game finished. But of course, there are other games going on right now. So it's really nice to see that we are in a good position to qualify for the automatic to go straight into the round of 16. Sorry, so the top 8 teams, they qualify for the round of 16 straight away. So I think we are pretty much secured in terms of progressing. I'm pretty sure we're not going to finish outside the top 24. I think it would be like a major kind of breakdown kind of throw if we were to finish outside the top 24. I think we are pretty much guaranteed to be going through into the knockout phases of the Europa League. But of course, we definitely want to be finishing inside the top 8, because we don't want to be playing extra games. You know, the football calendar is already full of fixtures, so we really don't want to be playing extra games, and we want to be finishing inside the top 8. So we are in 6th position with 12 points, currently unbeaten in the Europa League, and yeah, things are looking good in terms of progression into the next round of the Europa League. So yeah, in terms of Manchester United, who do we have up next? Of course, it is Manchester City away at the Etihad, which is going to be a difficult game. I'm not sure if we're going to get any. I'm not sure if we're going to be getting anything from that game, even though Man City have been on a barren run of form. And then after that, we have Spurs in the EFL Cup quarterfinals. So anyway, if you enjoyed this review, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.